Today, Bayern Munich is one of the world's biggest clubs, but it wasn't always that way.
It's a history of exclusion and all sorts of terrible crimes. I think we look at it as part of the club's history.
32-year-old Simon Müller is the head of the Bayern Munich fan club Schickeria, one of the most important groups of its kind in Germany.
There are around 180 people in the fan club, but there's tons of people around us who follow what we write, come to our meetings and things.
The fan club's latest project is to honor Bayern's former president Kurt Landauer, who was Jewish.
What's choreography? Choreography is when the supporters block produces an image. You can use pieces of paper, sheets of plastic, banners, or strips of fabric. Out of lots of little individual parts, we create a picture that stretches across the entire block.
Was dann halt über die ganze Kurve erstrahlt.
Die 36. Minute, es herrscht eine unheimliche Stille im Stadion.
Die magst du, komm, bitte!
Ossi Rohr, der Bayern-Stürmer, schaut auf den Ball. Rohr läuft an, Schuss! Tor! Ja! Der Ball ist drin! Oh, zieht in eine Staubbeutel, so hat ihn reingetroffen. Die Bayern führen 1:0.
Kurt Landauer's story is also being told in a TV docudrama. In 1932, under his presidency, underdogs Bayern won their first German championship. 82 years later, in Munich's Jewish Museum, Uri Siegel is inspecting an exhibit about Landauer, who was his uncle. Siegel carefully preserved the few artifacts Landauer left him after his death.
60.000 Menschen trotzen einer unmenschlichen Bruthitze hier in Nürnberg. Und da, ich sehe, Conny Heidkamp, den Bayern-Kapitän.
In 1938, the Nazis sent Landauer to Dachau concentration camp, but he was able to escape to Switzerland. In 1947, he returned to Germany with a ticket for America in his pocket. But he stayed in Munich, helping to build a new stadium for Bayern and get league licenses for all of Munich's clubs.
Jesus, Maria und Josef. Jetzt kommt er einfach da reinmarschiert, als wenn nichts gewesen wäre. Ja, das gibt's ja nicht. Der Landschi.
Soll ich wieder gehen?
Na, ich glaube ja nicht, dass ich die wieder auslasse. Ja, was ist? Empfangt ihr so den Präsidenten vom FC Bayern?
Das gibt's ja nicht.
Da, schaut euch das an.
Schieß doch! Ich finde, der Film, der macht diese ganze Geschichte.
I think the film allows you to grasp the whole story. It's very palpable. Before, all we had were 2 or 3 photos of Kurt Landauer. People knew his story. It was retold at various events, and people were always writing about it. But now you can see his story with your own eyes. I found that very interesting.
After the war, Landauer even rebuilt bridges with pro-Nazi rivals 1860 Munich.
So, mei, wenn die feinen Herrschaften schon am Schwächeln sind, dann sind doch wir früh genug da, oder?
Also gut, Ihren Platz und mir die Tribüne.
Andersrum.
Andersrum.
Landauer convinced the occupying U.S. authorities to license Munich's clubs. And the German First Division was back in action.
On the occasion of Landauer's 125th birthday, the Church of Reconciliation in Dachau invited us and official club representatives Fritz Scherer and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge to a memorial event. That was the first time that the club dealt so directly with this topic or staked out an official position.
That was just 5 years ago. Today, Bayern are keen to highlight their roots.
A lot of our players have read up on the history of Bayern Munich. It's especially nice that in retrospect, Kurt Landauer is a person that Bayern can be proud of. Back then, the club was rejected as a Jews' club, which was, of course, extremely problematic at the time. But it makes Landauer as a person all the more valuable for Bayern Munich.
Eberhard Schulz is a member of the Church of Reconciliation. He's followed Bayern for years and says Landauer's birthday celebration was the turning point.
It was the trigger for people and groups to celebrate the man. When the fans in the stadium do something and the TV cameras film it, the whole country takes notice. I think it sends a double message. The fans take a stand in their own stadium, vis-à-vis their own club, and say, this is important, this man was important, and it's important that he was Jewish. It's important that he not be forgotten. I think that's great.
For his role, Simon Müller was awarded the German Football Association's Julius Hirsch Prize for contributions to tolerance and humanity.
You can see the fruits of our labor when there's a cool atmosphere in the fan block and everyone feels welcome, when there's as little discrimination as possible.